Welcome back. Today is a big day for me because it's the end of my first 30-day experiment. On October 9th, I started a flexibility experiment. You can watch that video on my channel a little bit previously, a month ago exactly. So I started this flexibility experiment for a couple of reasons. One was to find out if I would increase my flexibility, and two was to find out if I would actually do it. And I'm pleased to report that I have done it for the last month. I haven't missed a single morning or evening doing my stretching routine. And I've learned a few things about it, but right now I'm just gonna do a quick video showing you what progress I've made with my stretches. Hopefully you'll be able to see the progress as well as I can. And then I'll do a separate video talking about the things that I learned, because I don't want this video to get too long for people. So I'm just gonna jump right into it and then I'll talk more about it later. So I started with a lunge, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about this. In my first video, I kept my knee off the ground for the lunge, but I decided as the month progressed that keeping my knee off the ground was causing me to flex the very muscles that I was trying to stretch. So I started putting my knee down on the ground while I was doing this stretch so that I could let these muscles relax. And I don't think you're gonna see too much of a difference here, but I can feel the difference. So that's what matters, I guess. And then I would go back and sit on my foot, and I've made progress here because I can grab my foot and I can touch my forehead to my knee. So that's good progress for me. Sometimes, it's weird, some days I'm more flexible than others. I think it depends on what I've done that day. And some days I can dang near put my forehead on the ground. But for now, I can touch it to my knee, straight knee. So I scoot forward. This is hard to do because my feet don't slide very well on this floor. But that's about as close as I can get to a front split on my right side, and that's better than I could do at the beginning of this. I don't think there's any way you would see any change with this stretch, so I'm just gonna skip it. Left side, see if I can move a little bit. Pretty much the same thing as the right side on the lunge. And sitting back, I can touch my forehead to my knee, so that's pretty good. And I can't go as far into a split on the left side as I can on the right, but that's about as close as I get. It's hard to get out of. Okay, and there's my left side swan, I guess it's called. And I don't know how anybody would see progress with this stretch. This, grabbing the opposite foot and straightening the leg. I did learn there are ways to make it more effective when you do this stretch. Your tendons and connective tissues all along the bottom of your leg want to pull your foot into more of a pointed position. You'll see my foot wants to go like this, but then if I angle my foot back out, it really increases how much the stretch is actually doing. So I would do that both sides, straight legged. I'm gonna bring a leg in, and this I made progress on as well. Grab the opposite knee and lean over, and I can touch my head to my knee, even with my shoulder along the leg. I can pull my foot off the ground a little bit there, so I'm actually going past the straight leg position because I can rock back on my calf and pull my heel up. Same thing on the other side. Touch my head to my knee, no problem. And then for a straight legged seated stretch, your feet want to do the same thing. Your feet tend to want to point their toes as you lean forward. So I would usually sit against something with my feet. I would sit with my feet against something to keep them from going forward, but I'll just hold them up for your sake. Grab the bottoms of my feet on that one. And then I pull them in. And this, I'm pretty excited about. These are not the best pants to stretch in, but I can go much further on the butterfly stretch, and I can touch my face to the floor again. And this is really exciting to me because when I started doing this experiment, I couldn't do that. And so that's really fun for me to be able to do that again. The next stretch, I think this was about as far forward as I could lean when I was demonstrating this in the original video. And now I can spread my legs about as far as they'll go and reach clear forward. Almost touch my face to the ground, but not quite. So that's good improvement there. And from there I would do a lunge. Now this is a weird stretch I've learned because there are certain ways that my hip doesn't want to turn. So I practiced this stretch with varying degrees of angle on my leg. I mean, from this position out to the more of a 45, even as close as I could get past a 90. But in order to get to that position, I sort of have to rock around to the side because my hip doesn't want to bend that way. So I kind of settled on just sort of a happy medium, and then I'd be able to lean down and grab my leg, and I can I can almost reach the floor. I can reach my knee. So that's good. That's good progress there. I can sort of lay on my leg. And I don't know if you'll be able to see this progress or not, but leaning back on my leg, I'm able to go much flatter to the ground than I was in the original video. And then I would just do the same thing on the other side. Let's see if I can do it so you can see. Almost to the ground. And same thing. I'm much flatter on the ground than I was when I started this. In my first video, I felt like I was like much more lifted off, and now I can almost lay flat with my leg behind me. So after those stretches, I didn't do it in the original video, but I started doing some arm stretches. I'd go to the side and I'd grab a wall and I'd push it back as far as I could. So, and I'd go behind my head as far as I could, but you don't have anything to compare that to because I didn't show that in the opening video. So I hope that you can see the flexibility progress that I've made. I feel like I've made progress. I still can't kick the top of a door frame like I used to be able to do, but I have built some flexibility, and that's really exciting for me. I feel like if I were to continue this experiment for a longer period of time, I will probably be able to kick the top of a door frame. And whether or not I continue to stretch in the morning and in the evening, it's probably not going to happen, but I'll talk more about that in the other video. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a wonderful day.